Listen up. Tonight on Comic Book Women, we're talking Warcorns. Did you like the intro, Garrett?
I thought it was great. I was dying.
I will say that's the only time I've done that for anybody.
The screen and I was like, "What? Oh my god, bro!"
That was Anthony's idea. He's like, "Come on, Laura, let's do it." Yeah, that was for you. That's my dedication here. Guys, welcome into Comic Book Women. If you've never been with us before, we're thrilled to have you. I'm Laura. This is Lucy, Jen, and we are joined by author Garrett Gunn.
It's such a nice way to say author. That I'm like,
author.
Yeah, in quotations. Yeah.
No, we're glad you're on. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. We're so pumped.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Jen, where should we kick off tonight?
So kind of my introduction into Garrett was Warcorns, the one shot. A few months ago, I went into a comic book shop and the owner, Celine, was like, "Oh, you like Murder Hobo? You'll love this book." And I looked at it and I was like, Warcorns, what? She's like, "It's warrior unicorns. You need to buy it." And I was like, okay. And then just down the rabbit hole from there.
Yeah, you picked him on our show a couple weeks ago. So it's kind of like it went from a pick to having him here with us. So yeah, if any of you out there have never been graced with reading Warcorns, we're going to show you a little trailer to kind of shed some light on who Garrett is as a creator. A series creator.
In a world so ridiculously fucked up, only an idiot like Garrett Gunn could have created it. Where common sense and general decency are rarely evident. A universe so insanely moronic and unoriginal, even the publisher is ashamed of it. One team will bring down the two most idiotic characters in comics. This July, an elite team of combat-tested unicorns take on Franklin and Ghost. Warcorns, combat unicorns for hire. Rated U for unoriginal.
Unoriginal.
Yes.
Garrett is unoriginal.
And that trailer is voiced by Sean Schemmel, who's the voice of Goku from Dragon Ball Z.
Wow.
It's so dumb. Yeah. I wrote that trailer and gave it to him and was like, "Hey, will you record this?" He was like, "Why are you talking so bad about yourself?" I was like, "No, it's funny, because I suck at this." And he was like, "All right, I guess, man."
I literally laughed out loud when I saw that. It's crazy.
It's so good. Yeah, I told the video editor, I was like, just make it terrible and just Michael Bay it up. And they were like, "Got it."
That was amazing.
Yeah.
All right, we're gonna move for our first thing of the night. So Jen, why don't you kick us off here? You read this, right? And what do you have to say?
Right after I read it, when I went back into that shop, I'm like, "Oh, is there more?" And she's like, "No, it's a one shot." And I was like, "What?" But it leaves it off we'll see them again. She's like, "I know." And months later, I was just on previews, and I was like Previews World, and I was like, "Oh, they're coming out with and I called her. I'm like, "Hey, they're coming out with a 4, a mini 4." She's like, "No, I'm telling you, it was only one shot." I'm like, no. There's 4 coming out. Put me on the list. And she's like, "Oh shit, it is cool." So I was so excited. I'm so happy.
You're the original fan. Garrett, what the hell were you thinking? What makes you go, "I got an idea. I'm gonna make unicorns better"?
So I tell people this all the time. This book started as a joke. So it was a way for me to make fun of people that I served with in the military. And I was like, oh, this is cool. Like I can make fun of all my Marine friends, my Army friends, Navy friends, and I can put in all these terrible jokes about all the different branches of the military. And what's better to like attack their toxic masculinity than to make them like unicorns and like bright and crazy and awful. And I was like, that's it. We'll do one. And people will think it's so dumb and it'll just go away. But I'll get it out of my system. And then we did the Kickstarter for the one shot. And like for months afterwards, I was getting messages from people, from backers being like, when's the next one come out? And I'm like, oh yeah, it's a one shot. Like that's all there is. That's what a one shot means. It's one stop. And they were like, yeah, I get it. But like, when's the next one? And I was like, it's coming.
Well, I kind of agree with Jen. You left it on a cliffhanger, homie. Yeah. You like just left it there. This didn't seem like sealed up and done.
Because I thought it was funny that like these guys, we built these dudes up to be so badass and so awesome and so unstoppable. And then they just get killed by accident. Like that's so funny to me. And everybody that reads it's like, what the fuck, man? You killed all the characters at the end? And I'm like, yeah, isn't that cool? They're all dead. And they're like, no, man. What the fuck? So then when we were like, it kind of became apparent that we had to have more Warcorns made. I was like, well, I'll Quentin Tarantino it. I showed you the end. So now we'll go back, like way back when they first became Warcorns. And we'll do this new miniseries of them like going to basic training and going to specialized training and like getting their first duty station, first, mission, everything. And that's where this miniseries is. That's when it takes place.
But you did left it. The last one, it kind of, you left it like it could keep going from there, though. Like, you never know what could happen. You
don't put the nail in the coffin. Like, that's just leave it.
Yeah.
Because I was like, he's still a torso. Like, Darth Maul came back, right? Like,
I thought the same thing. We could just sew them back together and keep
them spider robot legs. Yeah. Do it.
We couldn't put it past you, Garrett. I mean, who knows? But okay, on this slide here, though, this is kind of cool. So for those of you who haven't read Warcorns, this is kind of how it starts. You have, what's this guy's name? The boss. Yeah.
His name is General Erich Badgeway, which spelled out as generic bad guy.
I didn't get that.
That is so funny.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's General Badgeway. Yeah.
No, that is funny. Oh, wow, that's very creative.
Yeah.
I literally didn't get it, but he hires this team that hires the unicorns to track down Franklin and Ghost. And I thought it was cool that you kind of incorporated Franklin and Ghost into these. So we'll get to that in a little bit here. But when I was doing my intro video, Garrett, this is a true story. I told Anthony, I'm like, Garrett's the only one that's going to get this, but I'm going to put a bunch of crayons in my mouth, like as I'm walking out on the camera. So I had like a blue crayon and I'm like practicing my lines. I don't know why I gave him an accent, but
it's fine. I enjoyed it.
I ended up with like red and blue crayons in my teeth for like hours. I come out and I'm like,
the good news is you're like halfway to being a Marine. So all you need is like target practice and you could basically be a Marine now.
There you go. You're in, Laura.
Yeah.
Jen, do you have anything to add about the interior stuff?
So I felt like, because around the time of like picking out like Murder Hobo and picking this up, like the like quirky, whimsical, like much needed levity was like what I really enjoyed. I was like, this is really awesome. And like her and I are just like talking like other books, and it's like, this isn't like, I do keep saying it's like a ton original, but it's like, it's not the common, like if you read Spider-Man, right? Or you read like The Big Two or something, right? But like it was just much needed, and I really appreciate it.
Good. The cool thing, after doing the one shot, the cool thing is that like, everybody notices that the book looks very different in the miniseries. And like for me, anytime, once like Franklin and Ghost started being worked on as a TV show, like all of these universes are together. They're all of these things exist in what I call the absurdiverse. And I was like, oh, well, it's like, the cartoon doesn't look anything like what Franklin, the first Warcorns looks like. I was like, so when we go forward from here, I want to make it look more like what it'll look like in the cartoon, what they'll look like when they come into the cartoon. And so we went from this like very traditional style, you know, interiors to a very much more ridiculous vibe, like on the miniseries. And I find that some people really liked this like super, you know, more realistic vibe. And a lot of people are like, I love the ridiculousness of the new look. But I love this book so much. It's so dumb.
The line work is fantastic, Garrett. I love really the line work. I think the colors are stimulating. You go through this.
Yeah, the colors. I love
it all up, right?
So we did the line work was done by Kevin Stokes, who did a lot of stuff for like Stan Lee and a bunch of stuff. He's done stuff for Marvel, Rocket and Groot, and tons of things. But what we did is we had Nick Turris, who's the colorist from the Franklin and Ghost series, color it, and he never colors anybody's stuff but his own. But we wanted the color palette to match what Franklin and Ghost looked like, so that it was a little bit closer to like, you know, looking like that book, to looking like the, you know, the overarching series. It's great though. They killed it. They knocked it out of the park. And both of them the whole time were like, I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't color things like this. This is weird. And Kevin's like, I've never drawn horses before. Like this is, both of them were so unsure of it. And I was like, it's going to be fine. Even if it sucks, that's the point. Just keep going. It'll be all right.
The bar in your head, your expectations were low. So it's like,
that's my career in a nutshell. I'd shoot right down here. You're never disappointed if you're just trying to make like things that are okay.
That's awesome.
Lucy, what's this one saying?
Oh, it says just got the Full Metal Jacket homage cover of the book.
Cool.
Yeah, so we did a series of war movie poster homages for this Warcorns series. So like we did for the first one, we did Full Metal Jacket, where it's like the helmet on like the all white background. And it says like,
Jen sent it to me. Damn it! I should have
it's like in Warcorns division, no frills, only kills. We did for number 2, we did Fury, the Fury movie poster where Brad Pitt's like leaned over the barrel of the tank. And then for number 3, we're doing Inglourious Bastards.
Oh, that's cool.
Cool.
Yeah, it's super cool.
So you were talking about how the prequel is going to happen, right? So Jen?
Yeah, this is it.
Well, so yeah, this is going on right now. I think you can still, in some places, I think Source Point Press, you can get the PDF of Warcorns #1. And then 2's coming out soon. I think it's really cool. And I like how all the covers have like our different characters. But even like the world building, huh?
Do you know if #1 sold out already, or can we still order?
Number 1 sold out through Diamond.
Dang.
Yeah, you can still get them. I think there's a couple of them still on the SourcePoint website. They might be sold out now. I'm not sure, but you can for sure still order 2 through 4. 4 is in previews right now in February, but 2, 3, and 4 are available on the SourcePoint website, and you can order direct through them.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So how was it like? Because you're basically like universe building.
Yes.
Like, what is that like?
It's so it's like it's a crutch for me. I like doing it because it allows, I don't have to constantly make something new, like make a whole world from scratch. I can just like, I took this giant universe idea and I just cut it into a bunch of, like a pizza pie. And I was just like, oh, in this piece, I'm going to make Warcorns. And then that's cool because then I can connect it to Franklin and Ghost. And then when I do Cold Dead Hands over here, I can connect that back to these. When I do Good Boy's in the same universe. It's more fun, I think, to work in the same space constantly across all the different books, regardless of how different they are, because it allows me to like make references to other things that have already happened and like create ties for people that, you know, if you haven't read other things, it won't matter. But if you have read other books that are in this universe, there's a lot of like references and people go, oh shit, I know that from, you know, from Cold Dead Hands or from Warcorns or from Franklin and Ghost. It's just fun. It's like, I really love, obviously, like, you know, the MCU and their ability to like create this spider web of connected content, and being able to like, I it's just more fun for me. I have no desire to like try to make up all new stuff. I think it would be it's way better if I can reference things that already exist. And it creates like a history with the characters and with the universe, and, allows people in hopefully 10 years, if I'm still able to do this, for them to be like, oh, I remember like way back in this book, this happened in this other part of the universe. So it's cool. It's a trail of breadcrumbs is the whole thing.
And I was listening to an older interview, and you're talking about possibly like an international and cosmic Warcorns.
Yes. So we have the big thing right now is we've got a new Warcorns one shot coming out in May through Diamond. It's called the Warcorns Birthday Bash, and that book. So
sorry, that's not funny. It's just
it's funny. So that book follows. They get this call that there's been a sighting of a Class 6 IDB, which is what they call an interdimensional being. And they're like, look, we need you to like go down to Earth, and we need you to investigate like what's going on with this. And they're like, dude, really? Like, we have a team on Earth. You can't get them to do it. And they were like, no, we need somebody, higher up on this. So they send them there. And when they show up, it's princesses at a birthday party. Or are they?
Oh my God.
Yeah. So it's the Warcorns versus princesses at a birthday party.
That is
yeah. So the funny thing is that I tried, if it was going to be a one shot, I wanted it to be like an event where like something came out of it and it wasn't just a one shot. So at the end of that book, there's something pretty dramatic that happens, which sort of launches a bunch of other Warcorns series that are coming out. So we've got Warcorns International is coming out. And then we've got Warcorns Cosmos. And, so we've got like a full space, space side like team. And then we're going to have International, which follows sleeper spies that were put on Earth years ago with like antiquated data about wherever they were sent. So we have like
somebody's comparing you to Stephen King.
Non-comic
cool.
stories.
The connections.
Yeah. I mean, you're high or drunk, but thank you.
He'll take it.
I'll take it. But I'm acknowledging that you're clearly under the influence of brain, thought-altering things.
You might be eating too many crayons.
Yeah, too many reds, man. Cool it on the reds. So we have like this team of like, one of them said, we gotta spread the Warcorns out, and we gotta like put people on different planets to like keep their eye out for stuff. But they all use super antiquated data. So they show up, like one of them lands in Japan. All they know about is like Shogun, like samurai, and like tons of stuff. One of them lands in Somalia, and all he knows is someone's like, yo, dude, I don't know. Watch out. There's pirates there. And so he's like, oh shit. All right. I gotta be a pirate. So he like becomes Captain Longhorn and like is like a Blackbeard pirate. And you have like Somali pirates like with AK-47s. Like, what the fuck is this? There's like a Canadian Mountie. There's a Soviet era Russian. It's ridiculous. So we've got all kinds of Warcorn stuff coming.
Go ahead, Jen.
Oh, just like the artist for the pirate. You had like something.
Yeah. So what's funny is I was at San Diego Comic-Con, I think now 2 years ago, back before the world died. And I met for the first time, I met Ron Lim through a friend of mine. And I said, hey, will you do a commission for me of Warcorns? He's like, what the fuck is Warcorns? And I was like, it's a book I do. It's combat unicorns. I was like, look, man, like you can really do whatever you want. Just draw a funny unicorn, like pirate. And he was like, sure. So he drew this head sketch of Captain Longhorn, which is now going to like be what he looks like. So now I'm like, oh, Ron Lim designed a Warcorn. It's fine.
Nice.
Like it's no big deal.
That's
He's not going to get any money for it, though. He already got my money. It's all the royalties he gets. Yeah.
I would like to see one with a long, pretty, curly hair.
Oh, you'll get it. You'll get it. Don't worry. It's
Okay,
yeah. It's coming.
Girl unicorns in the one.
There's in the new number one for the prequel. There is.
Okay.
So what I find funny about this is the other thing that I love about doing this series is I quickly found that when you attack the shortcomings of men, you get all of these really shitty people that come out of the woodworks that are like, men are good, and so I got people trying to do dumb shit to try to make you look bad. And one of them was like, I noticed that I noticed all your Warcorns are dudes. What's that about? You don't like women?
Yeah,
I was like, how do you know they're all dudes?
Yeah.
And he's all, well,
I don't see no peepees there.
And I was like, I'm pretty sure on a horse, the only way you can tell the difference between a male and a female is the junk. Pretty sure I didn't show any fucking unicorn wang in this book.
I don't see any.
Yet.
That
comes later.
I'm doing Warcorns Damned, where I'm going to do unicorn silhouette penis. It's going to be the best. Anything for the book sales. And so I just told this guy, I was like, there's no indication of the gender of these at the mall. He's like, well, you say like bro and dude, and I was like, have you ever been to California? Everyone is a dude. Everybody's a bro. Like, it doesn't matter. It's a non-gender specific term, man.
Well, that's it. Because it's like you're the creator. You literally can do whatever you want. So it's like, that's interesting.
I'm like, bro, you think my wife is a sociology major and is going to Cal State Chico to become a gender representative? Like, you really think I would get away with going and making a book that's not showing women and other people equally? She'd kill me. She'd murder me. Yeah.
Okay, I have a quick question because I was looking to see if I can, because I didn't get the one shot, obviously, because
I'll send you one.
Oh, thanks. But I was looking on eBay and
oh god,
well, the one shot it goes for $40-some.
Yeah.
And I saw that Peach Momoko also did a variant.
Yes,
so it's pretty cool.
But she did little chibi versions of them.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, I can't believe that. Wow.
Yeah, if you get we did a chromium version for the Kickstarter, which is a big shiny version of them all. It's the picture from the trailer of them bursting forward and they're all got guns and stuff. We did a chromium version. I think that one sells on eBay for $80. It's it's just ridiculous.
How do you feel seeing your books going for that?
I think it's fucking insane, but I mean, it's cool. It's cool. I wish I kept a lot of this shit. I see people now and I'm like, damn, I shouldn't have sold all my books.
Hey, put them on eBay.
Yeah. What's the crazier thing was watching, I mean, Warcorns, the stuff that's happening with Warcorns hasn't started to really come out yet to get people excited. But after the news about Franklin and Ghost came out, the crazy thing was watching that book go way up in value. And I was like,
this is, we're going to talk about that next.
Yeah. I was like, this is nuts. Why? I don't know. It was my introduction to the speculator market and the collector market in comics that I had no idea existed as hardcore as it does.
But your Kickstarter stuff has patches and posters, and after it's passed already, but I was looking back on it and then how you're really communicative with everybody. I was like, man, I've been really afraid to buy into Kickstarters, but hearing you talk about it and then seeing the cool stuff, I want a patch. That's awesome. And that's
one of these. You want one of these?
Those are cool. I'm like, that's really cool.
Yeah. You get I'll look at. I was already gonna make you guys a fancy little care package, so I'll send you guys all kinds of shit. Yeah. I got enamel pins. I got patches. I got stickers. I got whatever. I'll send you copies.
We want all of it.
I'll send you if you put it on my wall with all those badass books, I'll give you a CGC copy too.
Oh shit!
I got all kinds of shit in here.
I definitely credit
I saw that.
I definitely credit you with I'm like, wow, now I want to support it. And I want to do another but they're all, do you have any coming up Kickstarters or?
He's past that, baby. Oh, or you still?
I mean, there's something coming.
Okay.
There's something coming. I mean, I'm not doing it not for Warcorns. There's other stuff coming, but Warcorns has finally reached the point where now I don't have to do a Kickstarter to do it, which is cool. But yeah, there's a lot of shitty people on Kickstarter. A lot.
I've heard stories.
It's so bad. Like, I know people have told me tons of times of like horror stories of like, yeah, I don't know, I backed this thing by like, I felt like 6 years ago. I was just gonna say that. Like 6 years ago and never got anything. Like, fuck Kickstarter. And I'm like, dude, he doesn't need your money. like stop backing people. Like, and a lot of times the shittiest stories are the people that are like, yeah, I bought a backpack from Jim Lee for $400 and didn't get it for 6 years. Like, why? He's got DC money. Like, we need your help, man.
Anthony's like, I have 2 of those.
I know. Y'all are nuts, bro.
God.
You ever heard of JanSport? I could shove so much stuff in a JanSport backpack and not line Jim Lee's pockets with money he's already got. But I'll even draw a little Batman sketch on it for you. It'll be bad, but I'll draw one on it for you, and I won't charge you $200. It's ridiculous. But like, so I feel like it's my goal. I feel like it's my goal to like, I've got to now prove to people on Kickstarter that like I'm not shit. And I'm like, well, fuck, I gotta like fulfill your Kickstarter and communicate with your backers, make everybody feel warm and fuzzy, keep them updated.
You're not a robot. You're real. You're real.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And I'm honest with people. I'm like, yo, this shit got fucked up. We got to reprint it. Yeah, sorry, it's going to be 2 more weeks. Like,
and you know what? If you're honest, people will respect you more.
They really do. They don't care. Like 9 times out of 10, people are just like, wow, that sucks, man. But I appreciate you reaching out. Thanks so much for letting me know. That's it. And then they back the next thing. They don't care.
There you go. All right, guys, we're moving on. Jen, tell me something about Franklin and Ghost, as you can tell behind me, is one of my favorites. But let's move on to Franklin and Ghost. Jen, what do you think?
So again, I kind of did it a little bit out of order because I feel like a lot of people I was talking like, oh, you've never read Franklin and Ghost before, and I'm like, no, like what? And then that's when I found out that Warcorns the tie-in. And I'm like, okay, so I'm gonna go back and read this. I was like, oh, no wonder they're making like something out of this because this is awesome. Like, and it, like, again, I'm trying to like it just.
It's just Garrett. It's just Garrett.
I know. I'm like the biggest schmuck that you're ever going to interview. It's not a big deal.
Well, yeah, you're the kind of guy that you can go have a beer with, and then hopefully, like,
it's true.
Or like, and I definitely regret, like, because you were at C2E2 the last one,
yeah,
and I'm like, oh man, like, because like, I was one of those comic book people that was very like the big 2 for a really long time because that was like my intro into it. I didn't have anyone that told me about indies. And then slowly I've been like introduced into the indie world and I'm like, this is freaking awesome. It's like abstract art. Like, and I love it. So Franklin and Ghost, like you can still there's the graphic novel on Source Point Press for I think $6 for PDF and a little bit more for physical.
I think it's on sale right now for like $16 or $15 or something for the trade.
And it's a good chunk. It's not like a quick. It's like 180
or 190 pages or something like that. I can't remember.
And then the world building. And then I like how it's connected to, I learned about DFN3.
Yeah. Yeah. That's another thing that's just, it's a piece of the pie, man. Piece of the pie. So Franklin and Ghost is, I tell people, and when they ask about it all the time, like, it's my Fantastic Four. It's like this is the book that came out of me wanting to quit comics in 2016. And my wife was like, oh, you can't like not make Franklin and Ghost. Like, that's the coolest thing you've made. And I was like, fuck. She was like, well, if you're going to quit, just at least make this first one and then say, fuck it. And don't do any more. And I was like, fine. So I did this one. And then it was like, people wanted more. And so I just kept making them. But like publishers hated it because like, it was like the first book is 48 pages because I hate doing floppies. Like, I can't stand it because I feel like you're through it in 2 seconds. It takes me 6 months to make. And then I'm like, oh, fuck. In 5 minutes, you want the second one. I'm like, I can't make them fast enough, man. So I do like bigger chunks of book. And like the first one's 48 pages. The second one's like 54. And I think the third one's like 52 or something. So you get a trade paperback of like 160 pages of 3 books. versus like 70 pages that a normal, 3 issue would be.
Oh, like how your wife, Joan lead you.
Yeah, that's what all the time. Like and I was like, well, that's crazy. I don't like. I thought for sure she'd be like, quit. Who gives a fuck? And she's great. Like, I mean, she's the reason that I like made my first comic book. She's like, yeah, just empty savings and like make it. And I'm like, what? That's so dumb. No one's gonna want to read a comic book from me. She's like, who cares? So like, I was like, the right answer is you want to read it. Damn it, Rachel. So like,
right, let's get her on. Where is she at?
She's
what's your autograph?
She's white clawing it up, trying to entertain these kids so that they don't bother me. She's the soldier out there on the front lines.
Garrett, really quickly, for people who haven't seen or read Franklin Ghosts, this is 2 alien entities that just come to Earth and just inhabit the 2 nearest things they could find, which was a fox and like a...
I call it's Ferris Bueller meets Deadpool. That's what I like tell people. So it follows 2 alien symbiotes who come from this mining planet where like all anyone ever does is like break rocks all day, and they're like, man, this sucks. We got to get out of here. There's got to be like more to the world than this. And so they steal a spaceship, but neither of them can fly. So they crash immediately. And they sort of like inadvertently set in motion like a chain of events that could destroy the galaxy. And they're like totally oblivious. And this book is like them just like going on this adventure. Like Ghost wants to see the Smithsonian because he's heard like dope things about like that's where everyone goes to learn everything, and Franklin wants to get like drunk and beat up rednecks. Like that's all they want to do until somebody that kind of has like a weird tie to their past shows up and is like, you guys fucked up, like we got to fix this. So it's like a buddy adventure.
Hold on, Anthony has a question for you. Hold on.
So you said there's a character that wants to kick ass and all that good stuff. So who is that in real life that you know? Because you said you wrote a lot of these characters after people from your military days.
I mean, so in my mind, well, not this one. The only ones that's really like based off military people is Warcorns. But what's funny is, and funny enough, my therapist pointed this out, but Franklin and Ghost is like the different parts. It's like my left brain, right brain. Like Franklin is sort of like the embodiment of every, like the way I wish I could live my life, just like not giving a shit about anything and like just wanting to like fuck off and like do crazy shit. And Ghost is the conscience, right? That like pulls you back in and is like, yeah, maybe we shouldn't do that. Maybe we should be responsible and like pay our bills and not kill people.
Kill people.
And like it terrifies me because I worry now that she's right. So now when I go to write it, I'm like, oh no, don't make my brain fight.
Jen, before you go on to your next question, Garrett, can I ask you a question? Can you verify that is your signature? No. What?
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
I'm like, shit, I got sold.
You said, can I ask you a question? And I was like, no.
It actually does have a thing.
Who's it from? So. Is that from Hive?
No, this is from CE.
Oh, Comics Elite, yeah. You know what's funny?
We bought a collection. It had it.
That's so funny.
Look.
Yeah, that's also a Comics Elite. That's also a Comics Elite.
You guys see that? Yeah. Shit, there you go. There.
That is the origin issue of Delilah, where it shows her backstory of what happened to her when she. Yeah,
really
spoilers.
Nice cover.
It's dope. It's a Ryan Kincaid cover.
She got some cheekies on her.
Right?
I am not a person after the first book that is interested in making titty covers. Doesn't interest me at all. But early on, someone was like, look, dude, if you put a hot chick on the front, you'll sell a ton of copies. And I was like, okay. And I did sell a lot of copies. I'm not wrong. But then I was like, oh no, this is damaging to like gender equality.
You're so nice. Jeez.
Yeah. So now I try. Yeah. See, you notice the first book I made has a nice, risque version. I regret it so much.
Oh yeah, there was an uncensored version of that, right?
Yeah, there was 4 covers. There was a censored version of that and uncensored. And on the Kickstarter was the only place to get that, and people bought them out because people like boobs. And
Yeah.
there's nothing wrong with that, but also
after a while though, it's just like I don't know.
It's a lot. Yeah. So now what's funny is that a lot of the artists I work with, I will like hire somebody and I'll be like, hey, I want you to do this cover. And they're like, oh, cool. Do you want like the regular and the risque? And I'm like, no, keep them clothed. Keep everyone clothed. Just make them cool. And they're like, oh, all right.
Like, what's wrong with you?
Yeah.
That's kind of cool though. Look at all these different variants. This is when you were self-publishing, except for the 300 homage, right?
Yeah. So this is, I was published by a company, but I was self-publishing.
And then we move on to here. And this is where SourcePoint picked you up.
Yeah, absolutely. So that is the one on the left is basically their reprint of the first issue that was previously published by Rats and Crows. And then we actually didn't release book 2 and 3 except through the Kickstarter. So there was, the only way to get book 2 and 3 was to back the Kickstarter, and then SourcePoint just put out the trade. So it made issue 2s a lot more rare and a lot more valuable because people couldn't get the first appearance of Delilah, like first full appearance, because the only copies we made were for the Kickstarter. So yeah. And then book 3 and 4, those are the ones on the right. I love them so much.
Yeah,
Cool.
I like that cover, the cartoonish looking one.
Yeah, so Nick Turris, the interior art, did that one. The interior artist did that one, and that's actually the cover of the board game that's coming out, or that is out, I guess, already. It's so good. Nick's amazing.
Wow, that is so cool.
Jen, do you have anything else you want to add on this part?
So I came across something, but I'm not sure for which series it's for. The audio comic.
Yes, that's for Warcorns. So I designed something. I really love the old Power Records that Marvel used to do, where it came with like a 45 album, and like you would like open the comic and it'd be like Captain America comes in and saves the day, and like I thought it was so funny that you like had a medium that is like you're just supposed to read it, and then they still sort of like force fed you the audio, and we're like, yeah, we get you can't read, so like listen to this. But I was like, that's so funny because you could make a really unique comic experience by creating sort of a hybrid, being able to listen to something, amplify the experience of just reading the book by like putting professional, voices and stuff behind these characters. So when we went to make the first Warcorns book, I said, I want to make an audio drama of the first Warcorns book. We already needed to cast Warcorns for the Franklin and Ghost show. And so I was like, cool, two birds, one stone. Like we can cast the Warcorns and we can bring them in as like a test and do this audio drama where they can act out the first book. And over the last 2.5 months, we've been producing this audio drama. So when you open up the trade paperback, there's going to be a QR code in it. And when you scan the QR code, it will take you to SoundCloud and it'll play the audio performance of the book as you read the book.
That is so cool.
And it's the whole cast is amazing. Everybody from, people from Dragon Ball and My Hero Academia and tons of awesome shit. It's a lot. Yeah. So it's going to be pro voice actors and pro, sound engineers and sound designers making a custom performance. I just heard the rough cut yesterday, like all put together. It's amazing. Awesome. It's so good. Yeah.
Yeah, because there's an audiobook for Light of the Jedi, and they put like sound effects and music, and I was like, wow, this is awesome. And then when I heard that like you guys were doing something with a comic, I was like, oh, I don't think that's ever been like present day has been done before. So I got really excited. Like that's
funny. It's like everybody that makes them generally makes them to be on their own. Like they make them to operate like independently. Like you don't need the comic, you just listen to it. Or you watch the motion comic, which is still just the comic just moving around, and it's got the audio. Like we wanted something that you could put headphones on and just sit there and read the book and just be able to like have a better experience.
Yeah, there's that too. Lucy found a clip. You brought this up about the animated series that you have coming out. And Lucy, we have a little text thread on the side, and she's like, look what I found. And I click and I open it, and I'm like, oh my gosh, this is awesome. We have to show this. So I'll play it really quickly in the background. Lucy, you can kind of tell them how you came across this.
I don't even remember because I was just looking, and I think I Googled, and then I came up with this a video, and it took me to YouTube, and I found it, and I was like, oh my god, this is so cool. So it's gonna be like the animated series that you coming.
Yeah, so we did when we were early, and the animation looks 100 times better now. It's crazy. So when we first announced the show, we partnered with a studio out of Ireland called Lightning Strike, who has a bunch of like lead animators that were like worked on like Amazing World of Gumball and like Micronauts and tons of stuff. And we knew that we were about to do New York Comic Con, and we knew we had like a ton of there was a lot of focus on Franklin and Ghost because it had been announced that we were producing a show. And so we were like, let's do a small animated clip that sort of gives people an idea. And we brought all the voice actors in, all the cast of Franklin and Ghost. And we were like, hey, we're going to do this short little scene, which is actually straight out of the comic book. Can you guys record this? But like Billy Bob Thornton was like on the road, like on a tour bus, like performing, and he was like, I don't have a studio. And I was like, can you just record it on your iPhone? And so like he recorded his lines on his phone and then like sound like mixed it and like made it sound professional. And it was like put together for this special New York Comic Con announcement.
That is so cool.
It's so much fun. Yeah.
Yeah, I found it on
IGN probably.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's where it was.
Yeah.
And I thought it was pretty cool that it's there. They have like so many subscribers, so that there's so many views and everything. That is pretty cool.
And it got a pretty like overwhelmingly positive response. Like we leading up to it, we had this whole marketing thing planned, and we were like, oh God, we hope this goes well. And like everyone was like on standby, like sharing and going in groups and putting in stuff. And I think it reached like 700,000 people or something.
What?
Which is pretty good. Yeah, it's pretty good.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Sorry, the ice machine in the background. I'm having a refill here. Jen, did you have anything you wanted to add to this one before we move on to our very exciting? I don't know if we're the first to reveal, but I'm going to say we're the first to reveal his two.
The first that matters, whatever.
Yeah, the first that matters, exactly. Jen, anything to add on Franklin and Ghost though?
I just think that it has potential from like that, because I did also see that short clip, and I guess we'll put the description, or put a link in the description if you guys can like watch it with sound. But I think like, again, from deep diving into like this universe, I feel like it has a lot of potential. I would almost say, dare I say, more than Rick and Morty.
I mean, again, I think you're high, but I'll take it.
She's drinking beer, remember?
I will say that in the next probably few weeks or so, you guys will see, I think CBR or somebody is putting out the first look at the full trailer. It's like a 3-minute trailer or something crazy.
And you'll tag us, right? So we can see it.
Yes, we'll share it. We'll share it on our social media.
Yeah. So we've got we just watched like the fully finished 3-minute trailer. We got a pretty prominent rapper out of the UK to make us a theme song. And so like this 3-minute trailer is like set to his song that he made, and it's like a whole thing. I'll send you guys the clip in private, and you guys can watch it before everyone else.
And the patches. Don't forget the patches.
Well, I'm gonna send you guys. So I got boxes in my garage of like, it just says like swag and shit. That's all it says. It's just like
we will return the favor. You'll end up with a bunch of Bird City comics and comic book one shit, and you send us yours, and it's perfect.
Yeah.
It works out. All right.
It will be a lot of shit. Exchange. There you go.
Are you guys ready then? So the next 2 books that Garrett Gunn is releasing, one of them's called Good Boy. I'll show you in a second. And the other one's called Grave Danger. Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. There you go.
Boom.
Boom. There's such suspense.
Boom.
Both of these are coming soon. Tell us a little bit about the Good Boy, though, because this is the one that I'm like, they're both fantastic, but I'm pumped about Good Boy.
Oh, yeah.
So Good Boy is reverse John Wick. So it follows this. It's again set in the same universe as Franklin and Ghost and Warcorns and everybody else. But there's sort of this company, this organization that has mercenaries, and every mercenary has a pet who's sort of like their companion, right? Like that they basically kill people with. And the main characters retire and are like, we're kind of done with this. Like, we don't want to be in this lifestyle anymore. And they're not happy about it. So they send hitmen to try to kill them. And they end up killing the main character. And his dog inexplicably becomes humanoid and hunts down his killers. Which I always think, like, I can't stand shows that use the trope of killing pets. And so I thought it was funny that I'm like, yeah, fine, we'll kill the fucking humans then. The pets will fuck you up. How about that?
Awesome.
Yeah, so Good Boy.
Garrett, you have fans out here. I love me some Garrett Gunn. So excited for these. Garrett Gunn. It's all a ruse. I sent them all here to fake like I had a fan base. So
all your family.
I know, like his mom, his dad.
Make a screen name. I don't know. So this book follows Flint, who's the main character. He's a German Shepherd, who was the companion of one of the main characters, and he sort of gets some intel of like who has killed his owner. And he just goes on like a murderous rampage to get revenge. We are releasing this is like I haven't told anybody this but SourcePoint, so like you're good. You got like the exclusive scoop. So in June we will be launching a Kickstarter for Good Boy, and for the first issue, and then it will be soliciting through Diamond previews I think in August or so, and it'll be a 3-issue miniseries. The first book is called Old Dog, and the second one's called New Tricks. And the third one, I can't tell you what it's called because it gives stuff away. So it's going to be awesome. And my wonderful co-writer / person who makes me look way better than I am, Christina Blanche, is working on it with me. And she is like the world's biggest John Wick fan. So when I was like, oh, I'm gonna do this book and it's reverse John Wick, I was like, you've got to help me with this, like to like get all your John Wick nerdiness out. And she was like, oh my God, I'm so excited. And she's like, I send her the script and I'm like, this is what I want to happen in the book. Like, can you add John Wick isms? And she's like, yes. She puts in all the cool stuff. But it's amazing. It's going to be a lot of fun. I've got the ash can, I think. We're doing like an ash can of the first issue, and I think that comes out through SourcePoint in May to like as like promo for the Kickstarter.
He wants it. You want it, babe?
I want it.
He wants it.
I want it real bad.
He wants it real bad.
Real bad. Yeah.
Real bad.
Real bad.
I want that.
It's gonna be great.
The Kickstarter's in June, you said?
Kickstarter's in June. Yep.
May. Oh, June. Okay.
May is when the ash can comes out, so we're releasing a little 8-page teaser of the book in May. That's sort of like a teaser and promo thing for the Kickstarter. There's a really cool, for anybody that's watching that doesn't know about this, SourcePoint and I launched an Ashcan program last month where it's like $10 a month, and every single month you get a brand new Ashcan and like stickers and a newsletter and a bunch of shit. And it's basically every month is a teaser or a first appearance or some sort of, hint at things that are coming. So I think last month was Christmas Caroline. We've got a bunch of them lined up, and then in May it'll be Good Boy.
You just answered somebody's question. They said exactly that will be part of the Ashpan.
Yes, it will in May.
And he said he's not paid to be presented as a fan. Where do we find the Kickstarter? Is it going to be on Kickstarter?
Yes. Yeah.
You guys, we'll promote the hell out of it as we get closer. Garrett's now like family to us, so we'll make sure that we are promoting the shit out of it.
Just one of the group.
He's a comic book woman now. Yeah.
I'm a comic book woman.
Oh, I need a clip of that. I'm going to spread that around the internet. I'm going to clip that shit. And I'm going to
Joke's on you. There's been way worse stuff of me on the internet than that. So it's all good.
Stephanie is dying in the background here. Glad to hear Good Boy's going to be on the program. I'll subscribe to one of mine now. That's awesome. Okay, before we move on, Jen, I know you're probably itching to ask a few more things, right?
But we didn't ask anything about. Wait, moving on, like from this or.
No, go ahead. Just say whatever you need to say.
Oh, I was gonna like grave
just
danger.
Roll with it.
Just roll with it. What?
Grave danger?
Yeah.
You guys want to talk about grave danger?
Yeah.
Yeah, let's do it. Yeah. Fucking A. So Grave Danger. I fucking A. So I did a book this year called Cold Dead Hands. Oh, look at my camera's getting mad at me. I did a book called Cold Dead Hands. It was a 3-issue miniseries that follows aspiring mercenary Kit Kelso as he comes wrist to wrist with the deadliest hands in history. It did very well, much better than I expected. And it was sort of a comedy about, this kid whose father. You ever seen the movie Idle Hands?
Yes.
I love the movie Idle Hands.
Devin Sawa. Who cares about Jessica Alba? Had Devin Sawa on it.
Yeah.
No,
So it's Idle Hands meets Wanted and Kick-Ass is like what I tell people. So basically this kid wants to be an amazing mercenary just like his dad, but he's fucking awful at it. He's clumsy, he's forgetful, he's a bad shot. Like he's not good at every single thing you need to be a good mercenary. And he gets possessed by these hands that belonged to a Greek mercenary named Athos Matisse, and he becomes like a killing machine. But these hands sort of have like an ulterior motive and are a secret agenda, and are trying to like sort of find their way back to their owner using him as a vessel. So Cold Dead Hands was super cool. It was a miniseries that came out that did really good. And again, people were like, "Oh, you need to make a sequel." And I was like, "Fuck, I didn't plan a sequel." Okay. I was like, so I was just like, well, I'll make a different book that's tied together with Cold Dead Hands. So I made Grave Danger, which is sort of a companion to Cold Dead Hands, and at the end, it's sort of they come together. So Grave Danger is 007 meets Van Helsing. So it follows Dylan Graves, who is sort of a cursed spy who has these eyes that allow him to see into basically another plane of existence where like demons live. And in this world that he lives in, basically demons are trying to get into our world. And what they do is they attach themselves to people who have cheated death. And if the demon stays on him for too long, that demon sort of becomes one with the person and then gets to live in our world as that person.
Okay,
so
what's that movie? What's that movie? Devin Sawa, where he cheats death the whole time.
Final Destination?
Yes, Final Destination. Yeah. That's what it reminds me of. Okay, go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah. So he basically, Dylan Graves' job is his organization hunts down these people who have cheated death and tries to kill them before the demons have a chance to cross over.
Anthony said you're a Devin Sawa fan.
So
he's like, my next book's called Casper.
You're so judgy. You're so judgy.
You're so judgy.
God, I told you I'm a comic book woman now.
My next one's
gotta lay off.
Starring Devin Sawa.
I'm a judgy bitch.
He's a judgy bitch, he says.
Judgy bitch. So this guy, it just follows this dude who's like hunting down these demons, but he has sort of this weird tie to Kit Kelso and the Cold Dead Hands, and you sort of find out at the end of the series.
I love this cover. Like, I mean, I just realized that it was, the demon in the back. The way it's kind of like, I like it.
He's like copping a feel on him. You like that?
Yeah, like, Lucy, I didn't even notice it first.
He's like behind him. He's like going real Patrick Swayze and shit.
Where he goes, like.
Yeah. He's like, come with me, Dylan. Come with me to the dark side. Yeah.
I noticed like the hand and like the little tail. So romantic. Evilish
romantic.
Yeah.
That's
so romantic. Yeah.
I mean,
she had too many tacos tonight. She's all fucked up. She doesn't know. She's on that taco high.
Not only one. It's the Moscato.
One too many. Yeah.
I'm seeing it romantic. I don't know why.
You're like, oh my god, look at that demon. He's so romantic. He's like trying to kill that guy. Come on, they were made for each other. Fuck.
Really? Yeah, this looks really cool too, Anthony. We got to hop on some of these exclusives, right? Bird City Comics. That's it.
Yeah, you totally do.
Yeah, we will. That's going to be our thing. Jen, what do you want to add to this?
That was it.
What are you doing?
You got her all distracted with like romantic demons and
I am. We got so distracted. Hold on 1 second. If you guys are enjoying this, don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Quick shout out to our sponsors over at Bird City Comics. Head over to their website for an additional 15% off your entire order when you use code CBW15. Back to the show.
All right, we're back. Sorry, bad point to interject, but we had to here.
We're supposed to like collect ourselves. That was like the cue to like get your shit. That's the get your shit together ad.
There you go.
Yeah.
Guys, I'm sorry. Anthony's on the side here. He's insisting on showing this Warcorns intro again. Are you guys okay with that?
Yeah, go for it. Love it.
All right.
Yeah.
I have been... Listen up. Tonight on Comic Book Women, we're talking Warcorns. You know,
I love that he's like from Brooklyn.
I don't know why.
Tonight we're talking Warcorns tonight. Comic Book Women.
No, I am an educated human being. I went to school and everything, and I'm like walking around in my uniform with my pug biting my tail. We have a pug, and it was like chewing on my ass as I'm walking around. I'm like, this is not where I thought I'd be.
Like, hey, knock it out. Quit chewing my ass like that.
Fuck, I have things in common.
But no, that was actually, it was fun, and that kind of encases Garrett Gunn. You know, I mean, you just have to.
What, pugs biting your ass? I don't know. I want to come back on this show.
He doesn't want to be a comic book woman anymore.
No,
I renounce my comic book womanhood.
Damn it. No, I mean
Damn
like
it.
being able to like channel your inner child and take shit for what it is and not take your life too seriously. That's kind of the message I get from you as an author, just to come into it and just have fun with it, right?
I tell people every interview I do, and they're like, what would you tell young aspiring comic book creators? And I'm like, stop trying to fucking be Robert Kirkman. Like, stop. No one needs another Walking Dead. We already got 14 too many seasons of it. We don't need any more. Do your own thing. Like, I told somebody on an interview like yesterday, I was like, the best thing about making comics for me is that I don't give a shit if they do well, because I do it for fun. And so like, I'm like, oh, this is cool. I'll do a dumb thing. And maybe, I mean, I'll think it's funny. And if no one buys it, cool. It still exists.
He is a big child.
Love it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Guys, for those of you who are just hopping in, you missed the first half, which you'll have to go back and rewatch. Before we move on to our comic book women picks of the week, you got to follow Garrett. He is so fucking hilarious. You got to follow this guy. You have to. It's at Some Writer Guy on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. God, I wonder what you tweet. What do you tweet?
Oh, not a lot. It's mostly retweets. You don't follow me. Go to follow me on Instagram. That's like the best place anyway.
Already.
But I love, by the way, also, I love that you made me look so fucking conceited in this photo. You used a background of just all my signature over and over again.
Well, because you asked me all the emails. You were like, Laura, make sure that my background is the email or my signatures over and over and over.
Every time I see that.
Isn't that what the email said?
See this? This is the eyes. I'm not playing with you.
I'm just kidding. I chose the background.
No.
I was like, this is so cool. Look at all his signatures.
Son of a bitch. What I love is people message me and they're like, hey, I want to send some books to you for CGC. Like, how much is it to get you to sign a book? I was like, what? I should be paying you. Like, I should refund you the money that you spent on this book, and then I'll sign it.
Make sure you sign our stuff that you're sending us then.
Obviously.
But I mean, you can't blame. Okay, I'll take blame for the background, but you can't blame me for that hat you're wearing.
You know, also that hat is like worn now just out of spite, because everybody, when I got that hat, loved to make fun of me for it, and I think I look fucking damn good in it.
So hipster,
right? I know. And I was like, oh man, this is dope. I'm gonna wear this. And then they made fun of me at a show for it. So then that was my profile picture for the longest time, because I was like, fuck you, I look good as shit.
You know, I think whoever wear hats like that, they always make fun of. I follow this.
What's funny though is at the show they would call me out. They try to like make other people make fun of me. They'd be like, "Hey, doesn't he look fucking stupid in this?" And they'd be like, "No, he pulls that shit off." And I'm like, "Fuck you, fuck you."
Aunt says you need a cigar, like a cigar or crayon. Whatever
I'll get a big crayon. Yeah.
So guys, if you're just joining, make sure you're following him. Garrett is going to be doing another Kickstarter out in June, which we will promote. But in the meantime, you have the Warcorns prequel, which is being released. Yep. What's the next one?
Number 4 is in previews right now, and number 2 comes out in shops on February 24th, next Wednesday.
Yeah, so we have time. You guys have time to track this down and support the writer. You know, I mean, keep on going for it. We're gonna switch. Oh, wait, Jen, before we go over, do you have any questions?
Well, so I thought it was really cool. I know there's a lot. There's so much to you that I feel like we only covered like a tiny bit.
I told you I talked too much. I warned you about this.
He did.
But I thought it was really cool is the Last Wolf Legion and how you guys, I think like in the past year had that DFN 3, and what you guys were doing was if you ordered one, you could pick a comic book shop and you would just send one to the comic book shop to do what they want with it. Yeah. I'm like, that's a really cool original idea that helps out comic shops.
Yep.
Like I know there's
when the pandemic first started, we were like, oh, this is cool. Like we don't do a lot with this book. So like we'll get a dope cover done, and every copy that someone buys, we'll donate one to whatever shop they want. And we got like a bunch of obscure comic shops that had never heard of our stuff that got stuff showed up, and they were like, what the hell is this? And there was like a letter in it that said like, you've been nominated to like get this free copy or whatever. Yeah, it's dope. And before, am I allowed to like, can I like plug something? Can
plug away
something before you go? Oh my God. All right. So
plug away.
Everybody here should go to Izzy's Comics, izzyscomics.com. We have a new Ashcan we just put out. We have an animated series that might be in development, may or may not be in development. I did a book called Familiars that comes out soon. It's Pokemon for adults. And the only place to get the Ashcan, which is the first appearance of all the main characters, is at Izzy's Comics. Chris Zulo did the exclusive cover for it, and it's amazing.
So cool.
And I think they only did like 250 sets of them, so it's like super limited. You guys should go buy copies of that.
I mean, you work on so much.
Well,
yeah.
With Bare Bones from Black Cape Comics.
Black Cape Comics, again, Bare Bones, yeah.
We'll have to have you guys come back again to.
You got like 15 hours because like that's yeah, because it's a lot. I think I've got 7 books in development right now. So
oh my gosh! So another
it's the burden of my mental illness. I could just not stop.
No, of your genius. Going. There's something so inherently cool about taking a cartoon.
A load of therapists and medication would beg to differ about genius, but yeah.
Well, I mean, there's a fine line between genius and
it's real thin, though. Like, really thin.
Really, really thin. You're just tap dancing across that line with your Warcorns. But yeah, guys, another reason. So check out Izzy Comics and get his shit ordered, man. Like
bro. Come on, man.
Even Anthony over here, like, Googling Izzy Comics right now. He's gonna do this. He is sold 100%. And make sure you follow Garrett. So, Garrett, are you cool with sticking with us for the rest of the show?
Yeah, obviously.
Okay. Yay. Awesome. Right. Moving on. So, part 2 of the show. Before we move on to it, I have to talk about Rebirth. This is a project that is actually really near and dear to me because I think the story is fantastic, and it was created by an all-female team, which as an all-female podcast, Lucy, Jen, and I are like, oh, hell yeah, we'll support anything where these women are just breaking their way into the industry. So Rebirth, what? Are you laughing?
Garrett, you forgot Garrett. He's part of the comic book.
Oh yeah,
I was like, excuse me, I'm a comic book woman now. Okay.
Plus Garrett. So the Rebirth was written by Allison Shelton. The artist is Elise McCall. The way to describe this, listen to this. In a dystopian future, a superpowered woman known as May fights to be free from the Unity, that's like the government basically, a cult-like society ruled by the corrupt, maniacal Hope. That's another character. So they describe this book as The Hunger Games meets Handmaid's Tale. Garrett, you've watched Handmaid's Tale, right?
Yeah, actually.
Really?
Yeah, my wife watches it, so I watch it by association.
It's fantastic.
It's good.
It's a really good story. I mean, anyway, and it picks up right when things are about to, like when shit's about to hit the fan, Rebirth enters. So this character that you're seeing here is May. I was telling Lucy before the show that the artwork here reminds me so much of you. Does that not look like you as a character? It does.
Cool.
You're muted.
To me? Me?
Yeah.
Oh, wait, me? Oh, kind of.
She's gorgeous. I mean, that looks like, I just thought Lucy all the way. And the artwork is fantastic. Anyways, they are doing a Kickstarter right now. They actually reached they were fully funded in 12 hours, Garrett. And since you were a Kickstarter that kind of had your stardom propelled by that, I thought this would be a good time to mention that. Stardom.
Yeah. Stardom. That's funny. That's a good choice of words.
Woo, Garrett! Woo!
I'm a star, bitch. Superstar.
Superstar.
This book looks great, though.
Right?
Yeah.
It looks so good. So that variant cover that you're seeing there, oh shit, I wrote this down somewhere.
Is the variant the small one?
Yeah, the variant's the small one. I think it was Molly Mendoza did the variant cover.
That art is
stunning.
nuts.
Right? It's such good art. Right now, though, like I said, they were fully funded in 12 hours. You can still go to their site on Kickstarter and you can get the $10 digital copy, a $15 trade by Elise McCall, or you can get the $30 variant by Molly Mendoza. But I really recommend helping out with this book because I think it's going to be something big. I think this is our Warcorns, but not.
I mean, this book looks way more respectable than Warcorns.
I didn't want to say that, but like this is Warcorns, but like, whoo.
But like with like good content.
Different way, I guess. No, it looks amazing.
Support this. Check it out, girls. Jen? What do you think of the artwork?
I think it's stunning. Who's the main artist for the cover A?
Elise McCall is the trade.
Interesting, because I know you brought up what was the artist you brought up? That'd be cool.
That what?
Friesen?
Oh, Friesen?
I think Friesen would be great for a variant because of the fire and she has fire hands. So Friesen would capture that lighting like perfectly, right?
Yeah. So I think it's a cool premise. Like,
yeah.
I think it looks great. It's really good. I even looked at the Kickstarter and I was like scrolling through their stuff. It's really good.
Yeah. Laura, you gotta get Jenny to do a cover.
Yeah, I'm actually that's kind of fingers crossed. We're planning on doing something for this because I think it's a great story. I think it's a solid story, and again, the all-female creative team I think is just so cool. I'm sorry, Garrett. This is like one of those. The combo community is so predominantly men that it can be so intimidating,
And men are fucking shit. So, and I can say that as a man, we are shit.
Yeah, so
amen, brother.
We gotta bring some.
Oh my god, my Superman's not white. There's girl characters in this. You don't know what it's like to be a man. You can't write this.
Oh my god!
Fucking kill me,
Garrett. God. Okay. Anyways,
stupid.
I don't think I've ever laughed this much during a show, but there you go. I want you.
I'm here for you.
Right.
What was their goal? What was their goal? Do you know?
Hey, Google's messaging me right now.
What was their goal? That's a great question. Hold on. I think it was 12K. I think so, but they got funded.
And they got it in 12 hours.
12 hours. They were like done, and we're moving on to the next.
Oh, you're like their Warcorns. Like I'm like, what? I didn't fund 12K in 12 hours.
Really? I would imagine.
I think we did. I mean, we did like 16 over like the whole campaign, which, I mean, granted, like most of it was in like the first week, but still, that's super impressive.
$7,000 goal. They're at 17,000.
Oh, 7! Fucking hell!
Yeah. Really and again, if you guys go to Kickstarter,
what? People don't want comics from women. Whoa, dude!
Now what?
So fucking cool.
Yeah. It's really cool. And like there's so many really neat stretch goals that they have for people that are investing and all right. So anyways, check them out. Make sure you're supporting their team. I really firmly believe that this is going to be a really nice breakthrough book. And again, I'm sorry, Lucy, you're gorgeous. And then you see this character, and it's like, I think they stole you and plugged it into this book, which makes me like, I know. Anyway, moving on to our picks of the week. Lucy, you're up first. We were trying to think of Garrett Gunn themed books outside the box, a little bit wacky. So here's what we came up with, Garrett.
Yeah, and you know what? I picked this one kind of, your book. It kind of reminded me a little bit of I Hate Fairyland. There's another one of the books when I kind of just first started getting into comics. I picked up this one, and I thought it was freaking hilarious. Like, one, because I cuss, but sometimes I'll say mother trucker or shit snitz, or the way that's kind of like what it got me, because the way, like the book, the way it cusses, it's like in a different way. And I thought it was so funny.
Well, isn't it because the universe she's in, right, doesn't allow cursing at like censors her? It's like the good place. Yeah.
And I love this cover, by the way. And it's signed by Scotty Young. When he came out here for a con. But yeah, this book came out 2015, and it went it was, I think, only 20 issues, and it went all the way to 2018. The Scotty Young, and also he did the art for it, which I thought pretty freaking awesome. He did the writing and the art. I mean, yeah, he's awesome. And when I met him, I was
what's he like?
Right now, he's freaking amazing. Like it was my first artist. Right?
Much better.
See, no, Garrett is like a skinnier, more talented Scotty Young.
Yeah. And we'll see with Garrett, I had spent more time with Scotty. I kind of he had a huge line, and I kind of cut in front of everybody. And yeah, well, my boobs were like up here, so and
damn it, Lucy, we've come so far.
Yeah, thanks for fighting.
You know what? I had just had my son. He was still like months, so I was breastfeeding. So you can only imagine.
That's a whole
I had a pump and whatever. So yeah, it was a whole other deal. But so yeah, in one of we had a booth there because I used to work at a comic book store. So we had a booth there, and one of our customers, he was in line, and he knew how much I like Scotty, so he let me kind of cut in. He was right in the front, and I have a few covers, and he was doing free signatures, and I had a few books to sign, and he was freaking amazing, like super funny, and for me, meeting it was my first comic book artist. So for me, I was freaking geeking out. And what do you say, Laura? I was nerding out?
Nerding out, baby.
I was nerding out. And I don't get like that when I meet like famous people or something like that. I'm just gonna whatever, But with a comic book artist, it was just a whole completely different experience. But yeah, so I just love this. Like I said, it's this book. If you haven't read it, it's about this little girl who wished to go to fairyland, and she gets her wish for her birthday, and she goes to fairyland, but she gets stuck there for 30 years. So now she's a 30-year-old woman stuck in a little kid's body, trying to find her way out, and she will kill anything or whatever it gets on her way. And I think I see a unicorn right there on that cover. I don't know. You see?
Yeah, with a peppermint horn.
Yeah,
Oh. You trying to start some shit between me and Scotty Young, Lucy? Because we'll go.
I mean, you can kind of universe, kind of. I don't know.
I've been trying to get Scotty Young on a cover for like 3 years.
Oh, it'd be so fucking.
And everybody I know that knows him is like, yeah, I don't know, like Scotty never gets back to anyone. He doesn't, and he's very picky about what he does and stuff. I'm like, yeah, if Marvel was cutting me big ass checks, I'd do whatever the fuck they want to.
Yeah.
I Hate Fairyland is amazing. I read this book when it first came out, and it's so good. I think her name's Gertrude.
Gertrude,
yeah. She's just
Gert.
Oh my god. and her friend, the little bee or fly or whatever he is, like so funny.
It's like her Jiminy Cricket kind of thing, but he kind of hates it. So it just it's not for kids. It's definitely a dark comedy.
Not for kids.
This cover, you know, you can get. I'm surprised that this issue #1, you can get it. The explicit cover, the one that I have, you can get it like on eBay for like $10. So you're winning because yours was more, right? I'm just
come at me, Scotty.
I'm starting shit over here.
Let's see what happens. Will he rise to the challenge?
And I got this tray. It's a sign and number. I think it's 1 out of 500. I haven't opened it, still sealed. I don't want to open it. I don't know.
Don't open it.
And I love like her face is all beat up. You know,
she seems just so darling, sweet girl.
She's, you know, I love this. You know, this book, and I had to pick this one because it kind of did remind me a little bit of, you know,
Garrett.
A lot of people see it and they're like, oh, they pick up like Franklin Ghost. They're like, oh, that's cool. This is like, it reminds me of like I Hate Fairyland. It's like really colorful and crazy. Is this for kids? And I'm like, no.
No. And it's the same thing, you know, with this one. It's not for kids. I mean, unless if you're like a cool parent, you know,
you're really cool,
cool parent.
A cool
That's
parent.
the former kid in you talking.
You know, I guess.
Unless you're like a cool parent, then you can like let me read stuff with swearing in it.
There you go, you know.
Like violence and stuff.
Yeah. So I mean, if people took their kids to watch Deadpool, I'm sure this will be okay to read. So, but yeah, I think that you can. Oh, if not, you can get the tray for like $12 probably. So. Yeah, that was my pick.
Very nice. That's a solid pick. I think you did a good job of picking something in the Garrett realm.
It's got my stamp of approval.
See? Done. All right, really quickly, guys. We'll be right back. Hold on.
Just a quick reminder, make sure you subscribe, leave us a comment, give us a thumbs up, follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Thank you.
That seems like a great place to plug that. If you guys are enjoying the show, if you're enjoying the content, fucking follow us. Like, we need that. We need that support. We're still growing as a show, and we're really enjoying it. So if you guys are too, let us know in the comments and follow us. Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. Moving on to the next pick.
Thumbs up, guys.
Give us thumbs up. Jen, you're up. Murder Hobo.
So this is what got me into the obscure, different kind of comic book. And that then led me to Warcorns. So it's Scout Comics, Joseph and Jason. It's still available, I think, cover price on Scout Comics. So I kind of want people to really read this one and then like get back to us. It is bloody. They show some stuff. It's not for kids, and because it has 18 plus on there. What happened?
Wow, 18 plus. So you have to be an adult.
And they took out like kids. They took out like teenagers and everything. They're like, no. Yeah. Nope.
There's like tons of different covers. It's not your typical comic book. It's not like your typical superhero bad guy type thing. If anything, this band of people chose the wrong person to be on their team, and then just carnage ensues. I don't want to give a lot away because go read it. Like, and then we'll talk about it.
It's a hobo and he murders.
Wow, murder.
I think the title kind of gives it away, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
unless he's murdering hobos.
Well, there's more. So like he looks like a hobo, and then like you find out in this issue how he loses his eye, and like the mini adventure that they get to go on, like with this guy.
It looks very Futurama kind of thing on this cover. Number one.
Yeah, I forgot what. So the artist is Jason Lynch. Shoot.
Joseph Schmalke.
Yeah.
Joseph Schmalke writes it, I think. You can write. I'll buy anything Joseph makes. Schmalke makes awesome shit.
And then like I've been noticing that they're putting out other things, and then when I went on Scout, I was like, oh, there's T-shirts, and I'm like, man, I want a Warcorn shirt and a Murder Hobo shirt. I'll wear that.
I want a Warcorn shirt.
I mean, I got you, bro.
You have Warcorn shirts.
Listen, you're gonna have to
He has a bunch of shit.
But I'm
bunch
just
of
saying,
shit.
merch is good. Merch is good to put on
good.
like Source Point or on the Wolf Legacy.
Nope, you have to come find me to get it.
Gotcha.
I don't want just whoever being able to wear my shit.
Gotcha.
He has
You gotta be vetted. You gotta be vetted first.
Are you gonna be at C2E2 in December?
The what?
C2E2 in December if they still do that?
Yep.
Okay then.
I think I was supposed to have like 24 shows this year or something.
Wow.
Yeah, that didn't happen.
You're really important. Like,
no, it's because I really love debt and want to like pay for a bunch of plane tickets.
I think you're being so modest. You were going to be like the next big thing. I can feel it. You already are just like growing.
But it's because you don't care, and that's why it's going to happen.
Yes. It's so genuine. People like you're so fucking likable. Like I just want to like jump through the screen and just crush a little face in a loving way.
What?
He's on my face.
You're like, oh, I just want to jump to the screen and kill you.
Claw your face off.
Why?
I sound like a PBS pledge drive. Thanks. That's what I was going for, actually. Exactly. Jackets were done for Warcorn. What?
They were on the Kickstarter.
Wait, really?
Yeah, there was like a crate. I was like, people. What's funny is like for the first time, people messaged me and were like, "Hey, I want to like back for like a bunch of money. Like, what's the coolest thing I can get?" And I was like, "Fuck, I don't know." So we made replica uniforms. So I got like Vietnam era fatigues. And I got like custom name tags made, and like the patches and stuff are like on the arms. It's a lot.
That's
like
why
ribbons on stuff. That we have a local shop, and like that's everybody. I'm like the dad. I'm the shop dad.
Oh.
Yeah, because I'm like old and broken and like just miserable, like a dad, like a real dad.
And the beard is glorious.
It's all right. It's got a long way to go.
Okay.
I think you're there. It's
no. I'm trying to get like boob length. like right here.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right, hold on. I messed it up. I got to push this.
There's way too many things in this interview that could be clipped and make me look bad. Words like boob length and
we're gonna clip all this.
Yikes.
So this is Jen's clip, Murder Hobo. Jen, where can we find this?
Scout Comics. It's still available, and they have a bunch of different variants and merch, and then your comic book store.
Oh, yeah.
And I think if you hit up Joseph directly, I think he has like his own variant. I always vouch for like people getting directly with creators because like you should totally give the money to Joseph and not Scout. No offense, Scout. But like I'm pretty sure I saw him post that he had like his own variant of this when it first came out that like you could only get directly through him. And it was super rad. And he's like the nicest dude. Like he did a cover for Cold Dead Hands and like he's like the nicest. I met him at a burlesque show in New York in like a year and a half ago. And like, he's like the nicest, most humble dude that I've ever met.
So much better than Frank Gogol.
Don't you bait me. Don't you try to bait me right now, Laura. Frank Gogol's a fucking schmuck. But I still love him.
But we love him. We love him.
He's like that cousin that gets drunk at Christmas and you're like, God, this fucking guy. But then you're like, oh, he's family.
He's family, so we gotta love him, right?
Oh, yeah.
Moving on to the next one. This was my pick, and I'm jumping on Lucy's Scotty Young train here. Sorry, got to. My son, Adam, who just walked in and said, I want Warcorns, by the way. I was like, sure. I'm a cool parent. You can read it. Go ahead. Bully Wars. Kind of the same really cool realm of taking the artwork, I guess is what I'm trying to get at here. The artwork is so good that it draws the younger crowd in. So what this is about is you have the bully, Rufus, who was like the big bully for his day, but then he goes to high school. And see that guy in the back that's like overshadowing everybody?
Without a neck?
Yeah, that guy. That's Hawk. And he's the high school bully. So he starts bullying the bully, Rufus. So Rufus employs the geeks, Spencer, the guy with the blonde hair, and his best friend, twin siblings, Ernie and Edith, to kind of help him win the bully wars, which the bully wars are like the Hunger Games of bullies, right? You have to like win this game, and whoever wins the bully wars becomes the head of the school. Right?
Yeah, it was pretty good. I read the few first
it's so good. And unlike Garrett's stuff, this is totally kid appropriate. Like you can have kids like this.
Garrett did two kid books.
Yeah. God.
Oh.
And I've got like a kid's novel coming out and like tons of stuff. Yeah, so don't come at me, Laura, okay? God.
Wait, hold on. What are these kid books that Garrett wrote?
I wrote a children's picture book called The Great Raptor Captor.
Oh, and I keep tooting?
Yes, I Can't Stop Tooting, a love story.
I Can't Stop Tooting. Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. You're right, Jen. Damn it.
Yeah.
Dang it.
Jen's got my back. What up, Jen?
She's a super fan.
Fuck
Got
you,
you.
Laura.
Come at me, bro. Come at me. Let's go.
She wants to scratch your face already, Garrett. So
No, the I Can't Stop Tooting book is so funny. It's about this girl that can't stop like farting.
It's my wife.
She's gonna kick it.
Your wife's
I feel like
No,
this.
she's not.
Yeah.
It's legitimately my wife. I made it as a joke. Like we were laying in bed and like she would fart and I'm like, bro, if you don't stop, I'm gonna write a fucking book about how terrible this is. And she was like, fuck you, you won't. And I was like, so I made the book. And it was like from the time I told her that to the time it came out was like 3 months.
That's so
And I was
funny.
like, this is the thing. And she was like, you're not doing this.
You
And I
can't
was like,
control that though.
I was like, bro, you called me out. You called
That
me
is
out.
awesome.
You came at me.
You came at. You said, come at me. I come at you. What's up? Yeah. Yeah. And it's amazing. And like my son
I
is
gotta
in it
read
at the
this.
very end, who's like also a farty mess. And like, yeah.
This
But the moral of
house
the
is a
story is
fart
like
house.
everybody farts, man.
Yeah.
So
It's
she came
cool.
at you, then she got served.
Came
by
at me.
Garrett.
She got served, and then I was like, but I respect it.
By the way,
I'm gonna read this.
I Can't Stop Tooting is available on Amazon, and it's about a little girl that can't stop tooting, but the boy loves her anyways. Just
like me and my husband.
Because
too.
the boy is also Tootie. That's the whole point.
Love
my
it. I
Yeah.
need this.
No, it's also not good to hold in your toots.
Yes. It's true.
People can die.
This is a public service announcement. Don't hold in your farts.
we're not like dumb.
Gastrointestinal distress is no fun.
Oh my god!
You know what? You know what? So me and my sister-in-law were pretty close, and then we talk about this stuff. Like when we go to the bathroom, that we love to fart because it feels so good.
Yeah.
Don't
That's like
hold
my
in your
whole,
tooth,
my
'cause you can
whole
die.
TikTok feed is fart jokes and like people farting on each other. It's the best.
T-shirt now.
I
Laura
need
is
to like
losing
to
it.
fart.
I was told that you would be a professional and like
I'm professional. I got
He
this.
is He's professional.
face.
Jesus Christ.
Oh my
He
god!
said Jesus Christ was Jesus
He
Christ.
said Jesus Christ.
Anthony's like, Jesus Christ.
Frank Gogol says Garrett is great.
Oh,
Don't fall for that. It's somehow a trap.
Oh, he loves you, Garrett.
He's trying to give me a taste of my own medicine. See, now because I called him a schmuck, so now he's like, oh, Garrett's so nice.
He loves you.
see, Justin said better out than in.
It's true.
This is
Exactly.
probably
You know who else said that was Shrek, guys.
I
Yeah.
love Shrek. Yes.
Shrek knows
Compliment.
what it's like to be alive.
Yep.
Anyway,
Yeah.
the point that we started at was Bully Wars is a really cool anti-bullying book. I think it's really cool for kids. Adam loves it. Here's some more fart emojis.
Also, I'm really digging. I have this book and I haven't read it yet. It's just on my shelf. I super dig this dude's whole look on the right here. with the mohawk and his like 40-foot neck. Like,
Yeah.
What up, dude? That guy's, and then this like caterpillar character on the left is just gross.
It's very cool. It's that gross, obnoxious cartoon artwork that I kind of love. You know, like you don't realize
Like
how much
real monsters. You're like, oh my god, this is terrible, but I can't look away.
Yeah.
Also, that like, cover, the cover where he's holding them in the mouth, like holding the teeth, is really good.
Oh, okay. I put that up there on purpose. That was a Midtown Comics exclusive that Adam said was his favorite. My
It's
kid
really
Adam, he's 10, almost 11, right? Something like that.
Like you said that with a question mark. My kid, he's like a teenager. I don't know.
Wait,
Maybe he was. I don't know.
Give or take. Give or take.
Oh
It's really
yeah.
good.
Why was he drinking my beer then?
I know, right? That kid, man. Anyway, he's our 420 baby, and he loved this book. He was like, Mom, this is the one I want you to put up. And I'm like, all right, fine. You know, I'll
Hold up.
Oh, that's nice.
Hold up. Go back. He's your. Hold up.
His birthday is 420.
Oh, okay.
He was
the
born
issue is
on
Glad we're
420.
clarifying because I thought maybe he was. You were like, dude, you were a mistake.
maybe that too. Maybe a
You're my
little bit.
420 baby, man.
Adam, come say hi.
Mom and Dad got super baked and just like wanted to like have a
We
kid.
have the Garrett Gunn on. Do you want to say hi, Adam?
He went to put on some clothes because he's walking around in his underwear.
Dude, my kid walks around
No,
naked
this kid-
all the
Yeah,
time.
so do mine.
At
I'm
10?
like, yeah. I got a almost 9-year-old, and like the kid comes in, he's all time to get ready for being home, and like gets naked, and it's just like, yeah.
Yeah, I told him, Garrett. I said, put on my shirt. I go, I don't walk around with this shirt. He goes, yeah, but I'm not fat like you are.
And he's sweet. Here's Adam. Say hi to
Listen.
Garrett.
Hi, Garrett.
Hey, what up, dude? Also, stop fat shaming your dad.
Don't fat
What do
shame
you
your dad.
like
Because
about
guess what? You're gonna be fat someday too. It happens to all of us.
It happens to everybody. Sit down. real
He's
quick.
like, I gotta leave, dude. Fuck this guy.
No, he's staying. He can handle this. What do you like about Bully Wars?
When that guy right there, the big fat guy named Hawk.
See, big fat guy.
When he called
What kind of children are you raising?
He calls Rufus a what?
doofus.
Rufus the doofus?
No, doofus dumbhouse or something.
That's why you like this book?
Yeah.
This dumb-
All right, there you go.
Mom stole your book.
That's all. I stole your book. I have it over here.
What a wonderful PSA for a book that's anti-bullying. He's like, I don't know, like the big stupid fat guy like comes in and like calls him something. I'm like,
I raised him well.
The first time he said that, I yelled. I go, I'm in the kitchen. I can hear you. He goes, I'm talking about my book, Dad.
He's a peach. He really is a peach. But anyway, so that was my pick for this week. And
Oh my goodness.
Jen, do you have anything to add on this one?
Hi, Jen.
I mean, I think we'll do a part 2
Yes.
eventually.
Of Garrett?
Of these type of picks.
Garrett part 2?
Are you sure you want to bring it? I just
maybe when it comes to like May or June, maybe, you know.
Kickstarter
Yes.
or something.
I
Yeah.
totally want him back on. But next week, we have Robert Fordham, which is going to talk. He's like the expert on foreign comics. This badass actually sent all the girls and I foreign comics that we are going to be unboxing live on the show next Tuesday, which will be so much fun because I don't know shit about foreign comics. Do you, Garrett, know anything about foreign comics?
what? Like, I mean, be more specific. Like, what do you mean? Like, is it foreign versions of?
Like the Spanish or
Yeah, like the Spanish
other
version.
language. Yeah,
I
like other
have a guy. I almost bought a comic collection from a guy, and he was like, "I got a ton of old '60s Spider-Man books," and I was like, "Fuck, okay." And I like came out to see him, and they were all like, "El hombre de Spider," and I was like, "What the fuck?" Like, he's like, "Yeah, it's like first appearance of the lizard," and I was all, "It's in Spanish." What?
La Legion de Superhero.
That's super dope. Also, one of my favorite
like
comics
French or
ever is a foreign book, which is Dime Press number 4, which is the very first appearance of Hellboy. It was an Italian Comic-Con book that had Magnola draw the first Hellboy on the cover.
That's funny.
Foreign books are the shit.
That's
So
cool.
you might need to actually watch one of our episodes next week, Garrett.
I'm not watching anything if you're on it, Laura.
Fucker.
So rude.
Oh
Did
shit.
you buy them?
Fuck!
Hi, Laura and Comic Women. Hi, George. Thanks for
Did you buy
chiming
them?
on in here.
Did you buy them? I don't know if you bought the comics.
You already bought my books. I already got your money.
No, did you buy the comic? Did you buy the foreign ones?
Do I buy them?
Did you buy Spider-Man 60s?
Yes, I did. And then I sold them to people that bought them, and I was like, all right. I don't know. I was like, look, man, like you can't look up how much Spider-Man 50 is and then try to charge me that for the Spanish first Kingpin. Like,
true. But I heard
that's not how it works.
I heard that there's like, I haven't got a chance to like look through any of them, but I heard that like there's an arc where they didn't like that Gwen Stacy died. So or like maybe it was like a dream or something. So there's like extra storylines that like we never saw that was in Spanish. And I'm like,
also for some reason, like they look totally different. Like the colors look weird, and like the
art's
quality different? And like not the art, but like it's like everything looks matte colored. So everything, it looks really strange. Like it doesn't pop like the normal like cover does. It's very like subdued colors and stuff.
Oh,
it's really strange.
They screw it up.
I know.
I think he means matte is what he's referring to, Garrett. Matte.
What?
It looks very matte.
Mate.
It's matte. Everyone knows that. Oh, Garrett. Anyways.
And he's a writer.
The printing is lower quality.
Actually, I'm a studio arts major, okay? I'm an artist. So there. And my bachelor's degree disagrees that it's matte.
This has been Comic Book Women with Garrett Gunn. He's just a peach, you guys. He's just a peach. Hold on. Really quickly, before we let everybody go, make sure you are following him on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. He's going to have a Kickstarter in June. What are you laughing about?
I just texted Gogol something about you. He's laughing.
Don't be talking to Gogol about me.
Oh, they're talking some mad shit.
No, there's nothing bullshit. Gogol,
I
for
don't
sure.
care.
Look at Gogol. He's like, ooh.
Could you imagine how offended I would feel if I cared at all what Frank thinks?
So I text Frank. I said, hey, we're going to do a conference call after this, but my kids got to eat, I guess, and Laura can't cook. And he put, ha, 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 deep breath. Ha, 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 ha.
I can cook.
Sounds good. No, you can't.
Okay, so
why
Garrett,
are so many ha's? That's so weird.
I know, that's a lot of ha's. That's a lot of ha's. I almost
Look at this writer.
Hella sus, dude. Did he write in deep breath?
He did. He wrote deep breath, but he put like little
God, he's so fucking extra, bro.
Anyways, make sure you follow Garrett, guys, and we are gonna have him back because he's a fucking blast, man.
Will he come back?
Will you, Garrett?
I guess. Obviously. What?
Obviously.
I have got nothing to do.
He'll be back with us. Make sure you're checking. And then what did you say about Izzy Comics? Give that one more go.
Izzy'sComics.com. Go buy the Ashcan first appearance of all the familiars. It's a new Pokemon for Adults book that I'm doing. Okay. And the only place to get their first appearance is from Izzy's.
And I highly support it. Even as a comic book store owner, I support this because it's supporting Garrett, and he deserves it. His stuff is legit.
I do deserve it.
God. Good night, guys.